Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Romancing Our Stones, a very tragic episode of Romancing Our Stones. We had suffered a great loss to the Bachelor family. Um, Claire and Dale are no longer together. They made it official on Instagram.
Say it ain't so.
I didn't see this coming. I thought when you knew, you knew, but apparently when you know, you don't know.
But she's always batted 1,000. Every time when she knew, she's always had marriages go and last a lifetime.
And it's just so sad. Like, I have a really hard time doing this show because is true love dead? Claire posted that she still believes in love, and I feel that. But I also think that's her asking to go back on the show. But I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, Alex, because this is Romancing Our Stones, your male survival guide to pop culture meeting that your girl will drag you to. I'm Matt.
I'm Alex.
And we are reviewing. Oh gosh, I don't. Can I do this, Alex? I'm just so.
We
sad.
need to suck it up for this episode, man.
I think the hardest part.
Are you sad? Are you sad about them breaking up, or are you sad that they might try and bring her back for another season?
She's just such a good person, and everything that she did in the show, I loved, obviously. So, I hope she comes back to try to give another shot because I need that. My heart hurts. It hurts. And she's the oldest bachelorette ever. And this was supposed to work for her, Alex. It was supposed to work for her. And Dale, when Chris Harrison said that you need to be engaged, sorry, I'm really emotional right now. When he said you have to get engaged, and he's like, what? When? And he's like, tonight. And he's like, oh my God. That was love, Alex.
Who would have thought the Bachelor shotgun wedding was not going to work out for them?
I don't know. Love is dead. What do I do? Someone hold me.
If it can't work for Claire, it can't. There's not much hope for the rest of us. But we digress.
There's an old adage: if it doesn't work for Claire, it doesn't work anywhere. Alex, you just got married. You've been married for a while. It's not going to work. It didn't work for Claire. I'm sorry.
Did you just come up with that on the spot? That was brilliant.
Yeah, I did.
If it doesn't work for Claire, it doesn't work anywhere.
That's what I heard.
That's on that.
That's in Sacramento. What are you drinking, buddy?
You know what? I went with holiday version Bud Heavy. It's got the Clydesdales in the snow, which means it is 100% renewable electricity. Produces bottle.
That's huge. That is huge when drinking beer.
And Bud Heavy is only 5% ABV, which I thought was kind of interesting because isn't Bud Light 5% as well?
Yeah, they don't take out.
They just put more water into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just
they make Bud Heavy and then they filter it with more water.
I think it's just more calories, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you're drinking Bud Heavy just because it's still left over in your refrigerator. It's not like you sought that out.
Oh no, I've got 28 cans of this left. So come on over.
Come on. I'm trying not trying our pumpkin beer. Our pumpkin beer is ready.
Come thirsty.
Ooh.
Next episode, I'll be cracking one of those. Maybe I'll crack one later tonight too.
Yeah. I mean, we're ready to rock with our pumpkin ale.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Lagunitas IPA. I'm drinking this not because I'm a native Californian. I'm drinking this because I had a $2 coupon at Safeway and for the 12-pack. So I'm drinking it. It is based out of, California.
San Diego, right?
No, it's Northern California.
Oh, is it Northern California? Oh.
Yeah. Well, if you really
I'm thinking of Sculpin. Who's that?
Ballast Point.
Ballast Point. Thank you.
Yeah. They're from they're from Petaluma, California.
Okay.
6.2% alcohol. I'm ready to go here.
Nice. So, I like it.
Yeah. So this is Matt James's episode. I think it's episode.
I think it's 4, isn't it?
3, 4.
I want to say it's 4.
I don't know. There's only been one rose ceremony though.
No, you're right. 3. This is 3.
Yeah. And they did that thing again where they start off with a clip, and the clip was of this complete ass interrupting their first kiss. Granted, the ass was a donkey. So I guess
literally an ass.
Yeah, literally an ass. And I was just so pissed. I didn't know who that was at that point. But I was like, whoever that girl is getting interrupted by this ass.
At first, I thought it was a really asthmatic man that was interrupting because it was wheezing, but it was really just the donkey doing its thing, just hee-hawing.
Oh, well, the producer slapped it on the ass just to get it over in the right direction.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like, go on, what? Because
they got the guy who was herding them all because he's probably farming them. They're like, go shoo them over towards their direction.
There's actually the guy that did the cold water challenge. He was actually the one that herds the donkey around. He's considered a cold water expert and an ass man. So
that's right. He was the ass man.
I saw that on his profile. But the episode starts out with Sarah passing out the rose ceremony, and we gave her the benefit of the doubt last time, and I was thinking about it more and more. You need to bend your knees, sweetie. If you've been in a wedding, you need to know bend your knees. She stands for a living. She's a reporter, an on-site reporter, so she knows not to lock her knees, which makes me think that this was an attention grab. What do you think? I mean, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm sure what we'll talk about for the rest of the episode as well. There's a lot of attention grabbing that she ends up doing.
Yes.
A lot of which is next level because she does it without being physically present. So I think that's a whole other level too of absence drawing attention. So
I wonder if she was this criminal mastermind, or not criminal, but like this manipulative mastermind. But the producers have to have a hand in this and I say this for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I still think they were feeding questions into his ear about her getting to talk about her dad, which caused an untrue, unrealistic connection to Matt just because she opened up about something that was important to her and he was nice about it. Secondly, she passed out, and then they put her in front of this glass revolving door with the entire rose ceremony looking at her through the glass
in the background. Yep.
As he's consoling her. And then, then she comes
to
back
the point where all the girls are sitting down watching him console. So it took some time for him to console her because they're all sitting down on their butts, right? Like waiting for the show to get back on, like get rolling again.
So I don't know why they didn't stay in that back room or off to the side. They did it right in front of them. And the people were getting pissed. And then there's Anna, who is the girl with the most teeth in the entire world. And she kind of looks like an angry Claire Dunphy from Modern Family. She looks just like what's
I forget her name.
She's in Happy Gilmore too. But I don't know, when she has a lot of teeth, man. I mean, props to her orthodontists because they're all straight. But at the same time,
it's not necessarily the smile. I think it's part of it, but I think when she smiles, she looks a little crazy. And I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just like she's got that look like, oh, yikes. Okay. Julie Bowen. That's her name.
Julie Bowen. Okay.
Julie Bowen. Yeah.
Look it up. We should do a cross sample. But anyway, everyone comes back. Sarah's like, oh my gosh, like I just passed out. I've never passed out before. And then they go, and then Victoria gets a rose, I think, over Mary Lynn, or I don't know, Marilyn. Yeah. And that's complete producer pick, which is, I think the producer involvement in this season is driving me a little bit
very heavy. Yeah.
It's super heavy.
Well, because and why do you say that? Because Victoria gets the last rose yet again.
The second time she had the last rose, Bree's date was, they share a common backstory, get the rose. The group date was manufactured drama because of this whole thing, and then he forced Sarah to answer questions about her dad when she wasn't ready to. I feel like the producers, and then Victoria, you've seen talking to a producer talking about how much she hates everyone in the
talking. Yes.
And it's like something I learned from this episode is that people like Victoria more than they're editing it to make you think. Mm-hmm. Like when Victoria was reading her story, every girl was fucking loving it and cheering and high-fiving her. And, she's a mean girl. Obviously, she's there to stir the pot, but she's not as bad as they're making her look, is my assumption. I still think she's nuts. But
I will say that, again, when we get to the point where the girls kind of call her out, Victoria has her moments where she goes just childish on her, but she does make some good points when Sarah tries to like explain herself, right? And Victoria's like, have some self-awareness. Do you realize like what this is doing to the rest of us? Right. And it's like,
Yeah, but
whoa,
if you
Victoria has
knew,
some self-awareness.
we don't know you. We don't
Yeah.
know you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I can't even begin to think what the situation feels like. But like if someone in my house had a terminal illness like ALS, which was made famous by Stephen Hawking, I feel like I would talk about it more openly. Like I'm here because he encouraged me to do it. He wanted me to see me find love. I wouldn't keep it like this big secret. But I can't imagine how hard that is for a family too. So I can't really speak to that. But
I,
like
I mean, part of it is like it's her life though too, right? Like, what do
yeah,
you do? No, I'm gonna stay at home. Like, how do you not say, well, my father has ALS and I'm his caretaker. I'm taking care of him because probably don't have too much time left with them, and then, I'm really just trying to cherish these last moments.
but
These
he
dear things.
encouraged me to come on here to find love. Like it's simple conversation. I feel like, but
Yeah,
again, I can't say
I,
what
I
her
don't think
shoes
I
are
don't think
like.
it's yeah, and I don't think it's not a knock on her character or anything. So but again, this goes back to the how was I mean, was she really just torn about the entire thing, this entire process and being on this show and away from her dad, or what we? I don't think you and I are on either side of the fence here, but I think we just raised the question. There's a lot of attention grabbing tactics that go into play here. There's a lot of Sun Tzu Art of War type of stuff going on if you think about it. If it's directed right.
Yeah, I mean,
And let's for those that haven't listened yet, maybe want to just see what we're talking about. For the guys that might be like what the hell are these guys talking about? Because I just went right into it.
this behavior, like when I was watching it throughout the whole episode, the girls were partly right. She was partly right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like victimness going on, and granted she's in a shitty situation, but you know using that for negative attention or any attention, like I might leave, it as a male, that Matt James needs to realize is that this behavior is going to continue. And if you want to have someone that you constantly need to reassure or constantly need to chase or constantly say, I'm into you, that is going to be your life, because this person feels validation when you chase.
Mm-hmm.
And so
and like you said, like that was a perfect way to put it, because the way I see this too is I'm getting tired of every season, and I feel like I'm always the one that says this. And I mean, obviously you're picking up on it too, but I feel like I'm always the one saying there's no way they've gone this long without watching a single season of the show to understand how it operates. It's like, I'm done saying that. Because she's like, this is so hard. Yeah, why did you sign up for this?
Like, this was.
Yeah. It's just, it gets to the point where like I'm starting to develop a bitterness towards girls that end up having this reaction, where I used to be like, I get it, it's tough. It's, nothing's like this before. Yeah, we're on like season 27 or something like this. Like, if you haven't seen this in the last 2 decades, you're kidding yourself. Like,
and like Katie had, I know we're jumping to the end, but I mean, Sarah was the focal point of the entire show, which drove me a little bit nuts.
Yes.
But Katie put it well. It's like, if he has something with you or he feels something with you and you leave prematurely and that's still in his brain, it is going to affect my relationship. So suss it out. And I hope that you stay, because I hope that it's me at the end. Like, that is like the most mature view of this entire show. And it's a weird situation to be in a show where you're dating. Apparently there's more women this season than ever before. And they're bringing more in, which I think I understand. And I have a theory. I'll float to you later. I'll tease it.
Okay.
But it is a process, and it sucks, probably in high school, seeing your girlfriend kiss another boy. But if you know that could potentially be a marriage at the end of it, you're like, okay, kiss him, recognize I'm a better kisser or whatever. Yeah. Move on. But that's me as a 30-something-year-old, and as a 20-something-year-old, I would not feel the same, which all these people are, which is ripe for drama, which is what they want to do. But I mean, Sarah was an instigator of bad behavior. Sarah was manipulating Matt and manipulating the girl's time. And then when she got called out on it, she became a victim. Yeah. Don't you know what I'm going through? And it's very hard to talk down or speak truth to someone that is like, my father's dying of ALS and I should be with him, but I'm here and I'm so confused. Switching to the victim, all of a sudden people can't jump on you. And I get that. But when she went to go talk to Matt at the end of it, she said, I'm leaving because the girls were mean to me. Yeah. That's what she said. And it's like, that's a lie. Yeah. They probably weren't nice to you, but you said that you're leaving because of your father. That's what makes me question her motives.
The stories don't connect, right? They're not the same. She's saying what she needs to say the way she wants to say it before, so she can do it on her terms, depending on who her audience is. She did, again, she kept herself away from the group outings. So everybody, of course, is what they're doing, talking about her, right? What does she do when she's not on a group date? She goes and interrupts a group date to spend time with Matt. It's like she's just doing things that just don't take anybody else's, like, for her being as emotion sensitive as she was in this episode, she's taking none of the other girls' emotions into consideration. No, when she's doing any of this. So it's very selfish. It's very self-centered.
And Katie called her out for it. Yep. And I love that. Dildo Girl became stiff and hard in this episode, and she stood firmly and erect for what she believed in. Yeah. And she shot her shot. And she got other people shaking. And, she hit the spot at the end, in my opinion. Yep. And those were all dildo references. But truly, like she literally said, I don't appreciate this. You have time to talk about it. Are you here because you're feeling insecure? Do you think that that's what's going on? Do you think that's okay? And then when she got accosted by the entire group, she said, hey, I don't agree with what went on in there. I don't think that's cool, but I want to still come to you as a person. I still don't think what you did is right, but tell me your reasons why. Why are you, like it was such a breath of fresh air. And these young chicks are being mean girls to Sarah. And I'm not saying Sarah didn't deserve it, because everything Sarah did, like, they have the right to be upset about.
Yes.
But at the same time, they were treating it like mean girls. They're gonna like legit isolate her and like not like basically not talk to her. She's gonna be out of the clique basically. And click. Well, I mean, a couple of the girls show their true colors. Kit, Victoria, I think Katie showed her true colors in the right way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if Matt were to see that scene before he made any other decisions on the girls, I feel like he'd be like, all right, so I'm taking her at least to the top 3 because she's legit.
Well, honestly, if I saw that in real time, or if the producer's like, hey, yo, check this out, I'd be like, okay, I want to focus on her.
Yep.
And let me look for her. And she's, I appreciate the gesture she made when she moved in. She wanted to stand out, all that stuff. I told you from the first episode, I actually like her a lot. I liked her a lot because she seemed mature. And she makes good boner puns. 2 things that are very near and dear to my heart.
Boners and puns.
Boners and puns, yeah. That's my license plate right now. BNERSPUE ampersand puns. So, but I do appreciate that for sure.
And she's somebody who I didn't care for up front, and she's been like, especially after the last episode, I'm like, okay, she's a favorite of mine now.
Yeah,
she's legit.
And so I know that we're talking about the meat of this episode. They have this group date, which was basically an ad for Chris Harrison's book. I mean, Ashley I does not have a job apparently, because this is the second series in a row that she's made an appearance. She's reading sexual poetry in the dark. We find out it's Chris Harrison's book.
Shameless plug.
And
by the way, if they're grooming her to take over as the host, I'm done. This podcast is over. I will not accept her as the host of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette.
And it showed how pervy Chris Harrison is. And it shows
Put it down on paper, Chris.
But like, sorry, I'm reading my notes as I'm talking about here. Like then they had to write these own sex scenes with Matt, and then Matt tells this story. Like Matt's sex story literally sounds like a woman walking into the door with like 50 items that she needs to set down. He's like, she walks in the door, she puts down her purse, then she puts her keys on the table, then she puts her grocery bag on the counter. And I look at her, I'm like, God damn, you're looking hot. And she said, oh gosh, well, let me take off my coat. And then I grab her leg and I run up to the seam of her pants, her dress. I'm like, this isn't doing anything for anyone.
Weak. As we'll find out from the girls, they're complete pervs. And his is considered like G-rated compared to what they've got in store for him.
Oh, his was like on Disney Plus, which is owned by ABC, same network. But like even the girls, like they sounded very young and immature. It's like I pulled up his shirt and I saw his rock hard abs. It's like that's not how romance novels go. Like I haven't read any, but I don't think
say, like, how do you know?
I'm sure they're not like he had a hard chiseled tummy. It's like no, they don't use the word abs.
Rippling belly. I don't know.
It'd be like the fire was cascading and glinting light over his stomach, and all I wanted to do was slowly drag my fingernails backwards down to where his nether regions. Which I mean, what?
Nether regions?
Yeah, they don't say like cock.
It's a Lord of the Rings theme.
They don't say
erotic novel.
Erotic novels are not pornos. It's not like, hey, I grabbed his cock and I did this. Like that's not,
you mean like Victoria's?
Yeah, or like all the 20-somethings.
Can I just say, I immediately thought when Victoria started sharing her story, that is one of those earthquake emergency SOS signals interrupting the TV. Yeah. Remember those in California?
Yeah.
Like, this is an emergency broadcast system alert. Beep. Because there was somebody bleeping out so much of her story. It was like, what in the world?
Yeah. Well, in California, it's like, it's going to be 75 tomorrow. We just wanted you to know. Back to you. Yeah. Well, it's funny, too, because, like, even, like, love Katie, but Katie was really surprised when she walked in. So, actually, I said, you're going to be writing your novel's piece. You're going to be reading it not only to Matt, but the other girls in the house. And then they cut to a later scene when Katie's like, I was so surprised when the other girls were here. I'm like, were you not listening to the instructions? Like, this was coming.
I'll say this. She didn't say the other girls. She said in front of a live studio audience, which I thought, whoa, okay. And then when just turned out to the girls, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't be worried about that at all. Like, you're living with those girls. Who cares?
Right. You're all dating the same guy.
That's a little different than a live studio audience.
and then there was a voice over the screen and it said, we're all like, Matt is attractive and every woman wants to be intimate with Matt in some capacity. And I was like, that word has never been spoken to this podcaster. So I kind of had a little fulfillment of wishes when I watched that.
You just close your eyes and replay that.
Like, yeah, they're like, oh my gosh, they all listen to Romancing Our Stones. This is great.
We should clip that phrase and put it at the beginning of all of our casts now.
Yeah. We all like,
you're listening to Romancing Our Stones with Matt, and then clip.
We're all like, Matt is attractive. Every woman wants to be intimate with Matt in some capacity. But I mean, it was kind of, Serena C had no shirt on when she was talking. She had like a blazer and a bra on. Katie went full porno with moaning. Victoria sounded like she sounded like she killed it. Sarah looked like she was passing a kidney stone in the back. Super not comfortable.
My question is this.
Yeah.
If Matt opened up the session being as guttural as they were, would they not find that creepy?
Like if Matt's like, I'm not even gonna do it. I almost went into it. You almost tricked me. I almost went into like this really vulgar thing.
I did not twist your arm, friend.
We have a clean rating. I'm trying to keep it.
I'm just posing the question. If he came on so strong, like some of the I can't talk right now. If he came as strong as they had done, I think some people will be like, well, this Matt guy's kind of a creep. But I think because it's coming from a woman, maybe it's a little different. It's considered funny. I don't know. I'm just posing the question. I feel like if I heard those words come out of Matt, where it's constantly bleeping him out, I'd be like, ugh, yikes. This seems very aggressive.
Well, I mean, Matt was kind of like the 40-year-old virgin scene when he's like, I grabbed her boob and it felt like a bag of sand.
Yeah.
Like, okay. But I agree with you. I think that some of these girls will be like crossing out things and like changing it to just dirty words.
Somebody
now.
plays Seth Rogen's part. Have you ever felt a boob?
Yeah, I felt
it was really sandy.
Abs. Yeah, dad bods are where it's at. So all the girls said that they felt empowered by doing that. I can't relate to that. Matt kisses with his eyes open. I wrote down. Every time he kisses people, his eyes are like half open. He's either like passing out or I don't know. Very strange. And I talked to somebody today, and they're like, "Have you noticed that Matt James is not a good kisser?" And I was interesting because I was looking at the women to see if they were good kissers. This person said that Matt James is a bad kisser. What do you think about that?
I'll have to pay more attention for when he does kiss these girls, but I can't. I mean, it's weird. There's things where I don't pay attention to those things when I watch. I guess maybe to a fault that I will have to start paying attention because I will be. I mean, I don't know what makes a good kisser, Matt.
Everything I do.
Everything you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. He can call me for pointers.
You should write a book because you'll be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah, on how to kiss. You say everything you do is how to be a good kisser. You should just write a book and sell it to all the Matts of the world that don't know how to kiss.
I'll share my secret. Throwing in little kisses every once in a while. It doesn't have to be full like I'm hungry kisses. Throwing a couple small pecks every once in a while works wonders. Nice. I hear your baby in the background. Is everything okay?
Oh yeah, he's being punished.
Oh good, perfect. So then we already talked about Sarah interrupting and all that stuff.
That's a joke for anybody who might be listening. My wife's with my baby. He's 20 days old. We don't punish him or leave him anywhere.
This is the underwater punishment, right?
Yeah, this is the waterboard treatment.
Yeah, exactly. It's an important step. You're getting it.
I'm teaching him to stop crying.
I'm glad you got my notes. Serena P goes on a date. But before she goes on a date, Sarah is up in the room. So Matt says, "Can I have?" Well, Matt said, "I want to address the group about something." He's like, "Where's Sarah?" And they're like, "She's upstairs." And then he just leaves, and he never addresses the group. He says, "Give me 5 minutes." And he's probably up. I would say he was up there for a half hour. I mean, judging by everyone's reaction.
Probably. Well, especially because she's sitting there being like, "Okay, so when's my date going to start?" Because our event's probably over. We've probably missed our third plane flight of the weekend. Our
helicopter has left. But Matt comes back. He's like, "We're all humans." It's like, yeah, but you don't reward shitty human behavior.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in my opinion. But Matt and Serena go horseback riding. Matt throws out some really bad puns about how horse riding relates to relationships. He says that I'll take the reins and see what's in our path.
Sounds like toxic masculinity to me, Matt.
It's easier to ride a Peloton than a horse. Did anyone follow you, by the way, when you put out your name there?
You know what? I have no idea.
You should check it out.
I have to check it out. Follow me.
Mets 23.
So I've been down for the count. So if you've seen zero activity, it's because I haven't done jack.
Yeah, newborn. We'll let it slide.
Don't worry, he's being punished.
Yeah. So Matt drops a bombshell and says he's never made a cheese board before. I thought that was a big thing to mention. Which, you know, it'd be Gouda if he did, but he didn't. So, you know, I'm having a hard time understanding why he can't figure out this charcuterie board myself.
Yeah.
But, you know, hopefully in the future we'll get cheddar. Anyway, there's really, I mean,
Well, don't leave out the donkeys, right? The
Oh, yeah, the
donkeys come into
donkeys
play
interrupt to
during.
kiss. And then she asked him about his past relationship. He said, I was dating a girl for 4 months.
Yeah. Let's
And
focus
she,
on this for a second. Say,
yeah,
yeah,
this is a
let's
big
be
part.
clear here.
He's the bachelor looking to get engaged. And he said his last relationship, he dated for 4 months and then she wanted a title, which made him dump her because he doesn't want to pursue anyone that he doesn't see marrying. Which I think was a producer save because I think he just said this girl wanted to be my girlfriend. I dated her for 4 months, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm out." But I'm going to be the bachelor, and all of a sudden I'm going to be engaged. Makes me feel like this is not going to work with him because
Mm-hmm.
whoever he chooses will want to be his wife, or at
Yeah.
least his Instagram follower, friend, cohort. One of
Yeah.
the two.
It'll be, I mean, I can understand if maybe, you know, if he's a guy and he's not looking for anything serious and he really enjoys this girl, and all of a sudden she's like, I want to put a label on this because I really care about you, and he's not there. Unfortunately, that poor soul's going to be let down by that. But I think it's one of those things where I feel like we need to address the fact that I don't know how long ago that relationship was. Hopefully, it was a long time ago where he's really had some time to work on himself and not have that kind of approach. Because a newsflash, Matt, you're getting engaged at the end of this thing. So, like, there's no, a label will be slapped on regardless because they're going to put a ring in a box in your hands and expect you to get on one knee.
Well,
So,
he probably heard the sad news about Claire and Dale, and he was just
but where's the hope?
I don't want a title because when I get a title, it ends. I just love being with you.
Try and sound sad about Claire's situation without having a smile on your face. I
Okay,
bet you can.
hold on.
Open scene.
Hey, Alex, I need to talk to you about something that it's not sitting well with me at all. See, I believe in love. I really do. And I'm a firm believer in when you know, you know. And I, my mentor, Claire, damn it, I got pretty far though.
You got yourself because I was trying to hold back. You said my mentor, Claire. Which if anybody out there is listening to this podcast and somehow sees Claire as a mentor figure, please rethink your mentors.
bro, she is taking care of her mom. Give her some slack. Yeah, I don't know.
My mentor, Claire.
Um,
quote of the cast today. All right.
so the only thing I've left is that he gave her the rose, and then they had gotten the same jacuzzi as Bree's date, the wood fire jacuzzi, and then her bathing suit looked exactly like her dress. Is what I wrote down, and then
I have to. I'm starting to get. I'm glad you brought up the jacuzzi because I'm starting to get a little bit. I don't know, a little bit disappointed because you look at the production value of this season and all you see are sprawling hills and woods. And I'm like, there's got to be something more than just the resort. And it seems like they're going back to the same spots again. And I get it. We're in a coronavirus year. I get it. But like, I'm starting to go, come on, man. Come on. Like the jacuzzi, I get, we haven't even got, we went one episode between jacuzzis. Are we kidding ourselves here?
it's the same jacuzzi.
Yeah,
And,
that's what I'm saying.
And heaven forbid we went so long without seeing a Matt without a shirt on. They had to fit it in somewhere.
Yep.
Like
it's like the next one we're going to involve. Oh, we're going to take the ATVs again, but we're going to go over to the airplane. It's like, wait, we're just recycling these things, guys. Come on, let's choose something different here.
They take the airplane to a remote place to go in the jacuzzi.
They just move the jacuzzi to different locations. Brilliant.
I mean, makes sense to me. And then they have the whole conversation with the girls and Sarah, and they were acting like mean girls.
Yep.
Even though they were mean girls, there were some funny lines they said. Like Sarah doesn't need Matt; she needs a Xanax. That was really good. I like that one. And then Victoria said, "I would want to fuck Matt if he sends Sarah home." And it's kind of like, don't you want to do that anyway? Like whether he does it or not, like Victoria, let's be real.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Victoria. There's parts of me that I'm starting to like her a little bit, and I hate myself for it. But
yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of the end of it. Sarah goes to talk to Matt. She throws the girls under the bus, although she doesn't throw Katie under the bus without specifically naming Katie, which I think that was a good opportunity to say, like, hey, Katie really stepped
Hey,
up.
one girl who's cool. Yeah, it's Katie. Yeah.
But Sarah didn't do that because she's only interested in herself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying she's not a good person. I'm just saying that everything she did was calculated for herself. And ultimately, she went home. I'm sure she'll come back along
No, I think
with
she'll come back, huh?
other people. You
Really?
know, I don't know. And my
What's
theory,
what's your theory? Yeah, I was gonna say let's jump into Matt's
we
theory corner.
teased it. So I think that the Bachelor had a bunch of alternates in quarantine on site just in case one of these girls tests positive so they could fill her in. So I think they have these girls that were alternate stand-ins and they just said, hey, let's throw them in the mix just because
Screw it. Yeah.
they've done the quarantine. They don't have the virus. We've gone this far without an issue. Because if you remember, Claire left and then Tasha stepped in. Then Tasha had a second round of guys.
4 guys. Yeah.
Same thing I think that happened last time. These were just alternates that were, quarantining as well. And when no one dropped out, they'll just bring them in. But apparently there's an old girl from Colton season coming. So we'll have the Never Been Kissed girl, Heather. So we'll have to see that. But that was the episode. This is Romancing Our Stones. And at the end of every episode, we give a Stones rating to determine how tolerable this episode is for us as men. We each have 2 stones to give.
Naturally.
And 0 stones mean, no, sorry. I did 2 stones first. I mixed this up last time. 2 stones means you like the episode. 0 stones means an active castration is preferable to watching this episode. Alex, what you got?
I mean, Sarah became a pain in the butt. It got to the point where I was just begging for her to leave. I'm going to give it 1 stone. It had its moments. It had its drama. But ultimately, I was kind of waiting for the end of the episode. Mainly because of her. I was glad. And I'll give it the 1 stone because I'm actually glad she did follow through on her threats of leaving. Yeah, if it was one of those things where she stayed, can I convince you to stay? And she goes, all right. I'd be like, it would have been 0 stones. But she actually goes, no, I'm getting in the car.
Were not there to hold her feet to the fire, she would have done that. In this podcaster's opinion, I think that this girl would have stayed, and this is her MO, and it's kind of like, I'll leave.
Yep. She's dangling the carrot. Yep.
So I also give it 1 stone because I was distracted during it, and I was on my phone, and I was just kind of watching. I was like, "This is toxic behavior. This isn't good."
Mm-hmm.
It's so I wasn't really super into it. I thought the girls were terrible to Sarah in the moment. Although sometimes when sometimes people can be terrible, but yet say very witty things, and I think I need to appreciate witty comments. I think I need to appreciate good jokes.
Mm-hmm.
But like
that's why I think Victoria won me over just a little bit. I'm like, all right, she's got some jokes. I like it.
Her jokes landed. Her jokes were very poignant, funny, and punny. But then you have my kids like, I hope I never see your face again. Like, okay, what? Like, get over
highly likely if she leaves. Calm down.
Yeah. So that's 1 stone for me, 1 stone from Alex. If you're good at math, 1 + 1 divided by 7 times 7 is 2.
3. Oh, 2.
2 stones for this episode. If you like us, follow us on Twitter at RO Stones Guys. RO Stones with an S guys, on Instagram at RO Stones Guys. On YouTube at RO Stones Guys. If you want to be a guest on the show, slide into our DMs. I got the Zoom premium account, so we can get as many of you as we want.
Not sponsored yet. That somebody help us pay for that.
Yeah. My real job helping pay for that. And that's our show. Alex, go get some rest, man.
Yes, I need it desperately. I will go grab some.
All right, y'all have a good week.
Have a good night, everyone.